I go to the gym 5 days a week. I create content for 4 YouTube channels, 2 Instagram accounts, 1 TikTok. I do video editing. I go to 2 universities, 1 physically, 1 remotely. So how do I find time to do everything? Time is a problem for many of us. We just can't seem to make enough. 24 hours seems like it's not enough. Maybe you have a 9 to 5 but want to start a business. Maybe you want to do something online. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe you want more time for your hobbies. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I think I manage my time pretty well to a large extent, and in this video I will share with you my experiences, what I know and the methods that I use and that helps me manage my time. However, first I want to mention this: trying to do everything all the time might not be the best option, because sometimes you just can't do everything. When we try to do everything, we inevitably fail to do some things. So what we really need to do is to set our priorities, because we all have 24 hours and sometimes no matter what we do, we just can't physically do everything. I also listed a ton of things that I do at the beginning of the video, but can I do them all the time 100%? No, I can't. I'm also a human being. Sometimes life happens and I cannot create much content. Sometimes I do not go to school. Some days I do a quick workout with weights that I have at home instead of going to the gym. And if we don't have priorities, we try to do everything and we can't do anything 100%. My priorities are clear. Content creation, that's what I want to do, that's my job, that's how I make my money. Do I go to school? Yes, I do go to school, but I can't go to school every day because sometimes I have so much work to do. I'm not someone who studies a lot. However, I'm at peace with that because I have my priorities. I don't try to be perfect everywhere. Instead, I maintain a balance. So my suggestion to you is to think carefully and set your priorities. Act accordingly. Sometimes we should be able to say no to things so that we can say yes to the things that truly matter. So now let's see the methods that I use and recommend for time management. I'll show you 5. The first thing I will suggest is to determine working hours. I think this is very important, and I realize that when I don't set working hours, that affects me a lot. Because when you don't set working hours, you basically work 24/7, or you have to work mindset as a burden 24/7. Since there's no specific time frame that you need to work, you always go like, well, yeah, I can do that later, let me first do this and I'll do that. Oh, well, you know what, let's do this first and I'll do that in the evening, I still have time, the day is not over, I'll do it sometime. And it never happens. So at the end of the day, you didn't even do the job, but you carried that whole burden of that. You need to do that, you have to do that work throughout the day, which that affects you mentally, keeps you from giving 100% to other things. Instead, when you set working hours, you basically say to yourself I'm gonna do this from 8 to 9 a.m. this morning. You get it done and you're okay. Or even later in the day, I'm gonna do that at 10 to 11 p.m. In the day, you don't think about that work that you need to do, because you already told yourself these hours I'm gonna do that job. Now I have other things to do. I don't have to think about that. That's basically the mindset, and that's called time blocking. I think it is also useful to divide the day into 3 blocks: morning, lunch, and you can say afternoon, and basically put the things that you need to do into these blocks. I'm gonna do this stuff in the morning, I'm gonna do this after lunch, and I'm gonna do this the afternoon. That's what I use basically, because I don't like to limit myself with times I'm gonna do this from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. No, I have 1 hour to do this thing. I don't like that. I don't know, I just don't like it. So what I do is I block the day into 3 parts, morning, lunch, and afternoon. So I say I'm gonna script the video. Alright, I'm gonna do that in the morning after my breakfast. I'm gonna eat my breakfast, I'm gonna do the script, I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna have a lunch, go to the gym, come back at the afternoon, I'll do these. You get the point. I personally use this. Another thing I would suggest is to eat the frog. Honestly, I don't know why they say this. Eat the frog. Why? But basically the main idea of eating the frog is that getting the most important task of the day the first thing in the morning, or the ones that you can be more productive with, at least, because the most important job of the day might not be suitable for you to do in the morning. I don't know, it might be it's possible, but for example, I can't really write scripts at the afternoon. I just can't seem to turn my thoughts into words effectively at that part of the day. I still do scripts at the evening sometimes, but it's not as effective and I'm not as productive as I'm in the morning. So if that day I'm gonna write a video script, I do that in the morning, because that's when I can focus well and that's when I'm most productive. So I just get it done in the morning and I do other things later in the day. This is also supported by research. Everyone has a biological clock, like the hours that you can be more productive and focus better. However, research also shows that the majority of people are productive and focus better in the morning. Then throughout the lunchtime, like 2 to 3 p.m, that dips a lot. You lose focus at that time, and then it rises again a little towards afternoon and evening. But still, it's not like in the morning. That's why I believe that many of you can be more productive in the morning. This was a method I used in high school, by the way. I would wake up at 5 in the morning, not even take my phone in my hand, get my water, and go straight to work on my computer. When you do that, the number of things that distracts you drops to zero, like literally. You just woke up, your mind is super fresh. You have literally nothing that distracts you, as long as you keep your phone away from you in the morning. Like, you don't go into Instagram and start scrolling. Of course, you don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning. Like, that's not what I'm saying. That's not the point. The reason I used to get up 5 in the morning was because I was in high school. I would wake up at 5 a.m, work for 2 hours, and at 7 I would start preparing and leave for school. My goal was to complete the most important task of the day before even the day started, before even going to school. For example, I don't get up at 5 a.m right now, because why would I wake up at 5 a.m? There's no difference. I instead wake up, when I wake up, it's usually around 8 to 9 a.m. I get straight to work. I work for 2-3 hours, I don't know. Then I go and have my breakfast and come back to work again. But it's not like the work that I did in the first 2 to 3 hours. These first hours are the hours that I can focus the most. I go into deep focus mode when I do that. But I don't do that every day, because I don't want to go that extreme every day. I only do that in the days that I want to really work. The other days, I wake up, I go eat my breakfast, make a coffee, come back to my desk and start working. But seriously, give this a try. Not just 1 day or 2 days, but for a whole month. Wake up in the morning, just get your water, get to your computer or whatever you're gonna do, get to your desk and start working. Work on that thing for at least 2 hours, and after a month, you'll see a huge progress. You won't even believe yourself, trust me. But I go to work in the morning, I have school to go. Yeah. I used to go too, I still do. Just go to bed 2 hours earlier and wake up 2 hours earlier and work. Give this a try. The third method is to let go of perfectionism. If you have a lot of things to do throughout the day and you wanna make time for everything, you have to let go of perfectionism. You can't afford to be perfectionist. This is a trait that I also have. I'm a perfectionist. I notice very small details and think about it for hours. And to be honest, probably 99% of people won't even notice that. And this is not a good thing if you want to do time management, and if you want to manage your time productively. That's not a good thing, because in this case, you focus on one thing that you need to do, one task that you need to do for many hours, and you don't have time left for other things. So if perfectionism is something that you have to let it go. You know what they say, 1 is bigger than 0, slow motion is better than no motion. It's better to create something and make progress instead of overthinking about a very small detail that probably won't even 99% of people won't notice, and do nothing. So don't let perfectionism keep you from starting or finishing what you're doing. I want to talk about the long term a bit. Let's think weekly instead of daily. I usually make my plans both daily and weekly. I basically divide the weekly plan into days. For example, let's say that I created a plan that I need to make 1 YouTube video and 3 short-form content that week. Then I reverse engineer and divide the things that I need to do to achieve that goal into days. Monday, I need to write video scripts and make plans. Tuesday, I need to shoot the videos and make the thumbnail, etc. Before I started using this method, I was always lost in my goals, and I always felt like I wasn't doing enough, that I need to do more. Maybe I posted 4 reels that week, but because I went through that week day by day, I was wake up, create, post, sleep, wake up, create, post, sleep, and I only saw that day alone. I didn't look back at how much videos I have created. I was just I posted a video today. And I don't know, I felt I wasn't doing enough. However, I found setting weekly tasks very useful in this regard. Those goals that I set are the minimum. I have to do these things, and when I do them, I'm done. If I do more, that's good, but even if I don't, that's still good, because I set my goals and I achieved them. I definitely recommend this. The fifth and last method is to limit social media use. Social media is actually the thing that takes up the most amount of time for most people. If everyone watching this video looks at their screen time, I guarantee 90% of people have a screen time of 6 to 7 hours or even more. And the majority of these hours are from social media apps. We spend so much time consuming content on social media that we feel like the days are flowing by. So my job is to create content on social media. So I have to be on social media. I have to see what other people are doing, what People are interested in what's trending. I have to engage with other creators, with other content. But in addition to that, I also consume a lot of content. And I can give you 2 tips that will help you reduce your screen time. First, drastically reduce the number of people you follow. Only keep the people that you actually care about. This way, there won't be so much content on your stories or like main menu. But to be honest, that's not the part that majority of people spend the majority of their times. The real problem is the Reels tab or TikTok or YouTube Shorts. So the second thing I can suggest is to set a daily usage time and try to stick to it. If necessary, reduce it little by little, like for example, let's say 30 minutes per day on Instagram or TikTok, like potato, like you still scroll. When you reach this limit, don't use the app anymore. In fact, a friend of mine has told me a story like on what he has done. He had downloaded an app on his phone, like I don't remember the name, but that app basically what the app did is like when you reached a time limit on that app, it locked the app, and the only way to like unlock the app was to type the password that you have set. And what my friend did was his sister put that password, so he didn't knew the password, so he couldn't open the app. To be honest, that's a little extreme for me. Like, I'm not doing that. Okay, this is my job. I create content there, like I respond to comments, and I also use like Instagram, for example, for communication with people that I know, with friends. So it makes more sense to me like to just set a daily limit, for example, like 30 minutes. And when I reach 30 minutes, I just don't continue consuming, content. The same goes for every platform like TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and I could help you with your time management. If you would like to see more content like this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.